What up, what up, what up? What's going on, guys? Welcome to apartment 1602. This is the absolute first stream. I'm just testing things out, making sure that everything works according to plan. And if I'm being honest with you guys, it took me literally all morning. It's like as soon as I woke up, I took my shower, I did everything that I had to do. And then as soon as I sat down to actually, record the stream and start streaming and all of that, it's like my brain just, I just hit a mental block and all these excuses started coming to my mind. But I'm like, honestly, like, I don't want that to be a thing. So I'm just putting this out there just the way I'm doing it now, as is, fresh off the top of my head. No script, no nothing like that. And hopefully I could take it from here and continue on. Not hopefully, I'm gonna do it. And to be honest with you guys, I'm excited. I was sitting here thinking about what kind of topics I would discuss, what video games I could play and all of these things. And then I realized I'm the type of person where I like to talk about all kinds of different things. And I think eventually the topics that suit me best and the things that people want to talk about and the things that I want to talk about will come to me naturally. So I just had to take I guess the whole morning, to be honest with you, just overcome that block and overthinking things and honestly maybe worrying just a bit. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's natural. At least I hope it's natural, because I know that oftentimes I do that. But it kind of happens in my mind, if I'm being honest with you, and I don't know why, because I don't want to do it. So I don't know where it comes from. I don't understand why it's happening, and it just kind of comes out of nowhere. So this morning I just took the whole morning to just kind of watch that happening. Just really watch that happening and yeah, try to understand it the best that I could. But I don't think there was any understanding it, to be honest with you. So I let that go, trying to understand it, and I just jumped right into this. So hopefully you guys can hear me good. Hopefully, my levels are good. If it's not, I'll make sure to adjust it for the next stream. And I'm gonna be consistent doing this. I'm gonna try to do at least 2 a week. I think I could do more than that, but for now I'm gonna try to do 2 a week. 2 a week, and just talk about things, what's going on in everyday life. I like to play video games, so I'm gonna be doing some of that. A little bit of everything. We'll see where this takes me. We'll see where it goes. I don't wanna say I'm gonna do too much and then not do anything at all. And I don't wanna do too much when I should be doing less. Sometimes less is more. So yeah, man. Honestly, now I'm getting excited. You see, now I'm happy that I really did this, to be honest with you. To be honest with you guys, I feel a sense of relief. It feels good. It feels good. But yeah. New year, new stream, overdue resolutions. There's so much things I've been wanting to do. There's so much things that I've been wanting to do, and I started to realize that this wanting thing is crazy. It's almost like every time I want to do something, it's like there's an excuse or some kind of force, something in the way. And I think I needed to stop wanting and looking at, what's necessary. What is it that I need? Why am I even wanting? Why do I need to do this as opposed to wanting to do this? And I think the need, honestly, guys, is just freedom. Just allowing myself to be free, allowing myself to live the life that I'm meant to live. And I love talking to people. I love learning from people. And what better place to do it than here with you guys, right? What better place to do it? right now, also I woke up and there was a lot in my mind. One of the things in particular was losing weight, and I realized this is something that has been haunting me for a long time, and I allowed myself over the last few years to fall into some really bad habits that was very, very hard for me to break. Very hard to break. The spirit was willing, but the mind was playing tricks on me. The spirit was very, very willing, but the mind was playing tricks. So it's been 2 weeks now and I conquered a few demons, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, like I'm feeling good about it. And I think that I know that I'm on pace to accomplishing a lot of tasks this year, to overcoming a lot of obstacles this year, to continuous progression moving forward, at my own pace, and watching it happen as opposed to trying to make it happen. I think that's a big no-no for me. I don't think I'm the type of person that, you see a lot of people online, a lot of people when you go to work or you're out and about, wherever you are, you're always going to run into someone talking about making things happen. And I'm not against that. And I'm not saying that I can't make things happen, but I don't think I'm personally the type of person to sit here all day and focus on making something happen. Like, I don't know, life doesn't seem as though life is something that wants to be forced to do anything at all, It doesn't seem that way to me, and it seems very unnatural to me. But maybe that's just a stage in life right now. You never know, tomorrow, a big dog can wake up with a whole different bark, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I don't know. You guys gotta tell me what you think, man. You guys gotta tell me what you think. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just chilling, right? Chilling in the apartment, doing my thing. It's ice cold outside. Back in the day, we used to say, we would say it was brick, but it's brisk outside right now. But the sun, it's a nice bright day. It's a nice bright day, so I can't really complain too much. I went outside. I got my groceries. I came home. I cooked for the day, and then I put some food in the fridge to marinate, seasoned up some food to marinate. So I'm gonna have some food for the next couple of days. I made some saltfish and broccoli and seasoned some chicken thighs. Right, so I'm gonna eat that saltfish and broccoli, maybe with some white rice, and yeah, man. And you know what I did too, right? Here's what I did. I'm gonna show you. It's the first stream ever, and I'm putting you guys on game right now. If you didn't know, you're gonna know right now. Let me tell you how to make sure you use everything. You don't waste nothing when you're cooking, right? Let me tell you how you do it. So, I bought the chicken thighs, and I deboned it. I always buy it with the bone for a couple of reasons. Sometimes I like to make soup, so I use the chicken bones and the bones and stuff like that to make soup. But if I'm not making soup, what I do is when I cut out the bone, sometimes there's pieces of chicken on the bone, right? You don't throw that out. Here's what you do. You put it to the side. And then when you're going to make another dish, what I do is I'll deal with the bones. I'll cook up the bones however I want to cook it up. And once the meat on the bone is cooked up nice, I'll pick them off. I'll clean the bone off, take all the chicken off the bone, and then I can throw that in any other dish that I want to, little chicken chunks. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So if a man says he wants to make a fried rice, you have your chicken for your chicken fried rice. You understand where I'm going with this? It's crazy. I bet you never thought of that. We're using the whole chicken. We don't waste nothing. Call me native. We waste nothing. We appreciate the land and all that it has to give. I'm telling you guys right now. Yeah. It's very relaxing to cook for me personally. I'll be honest with you. I really, really like to cook. Not that I'm some kind of master chef or nothing like that, but I really, really like to cook. And I think it taught me one thing about cooking. You cannot rush when you're cooking, otherwise the food will not come out according to plan. It never will. It will force you to learn patience, especially when you have to cook for others. Like for me personally, when I'm cooking for myself, like let's say I have to go to work or something like that, I'll cook the same thing every day. Quick, simple meals that I can pack up easily, easy to clean up afterwards and stuff like that. Because you don't want to be thinking like I personally don't believe in, I'm gonna assume that you guys are all working people, or you have things to do day to day, right? And I can't imagine waking up every day and having to think about something different to cook every day. That's crazy to me. When it comes time to work, and you're working those steady days in a row, I like to have something that I can cook for 3-4 days or more if I can. And I'll eat that every day if I have to. I don't eat a lot, so I don't need to be packing a lot of food. That's just me. But regardless, I would still only, like, I like to just keep it simple. You know what I mean? Simple. But today I decided, I'm going to be doing this stream, first stream, new year, new stream. And I decided to treat myself to a little saltfish and broccoli on some white rice. And yeah, I put some chicken thighs to season in the fridge, marinate. So tomorrow that's going to be ready. And I think what I'll do is I'll make a little homemade fried rice. You know what I'm saying? To eat with that. Right? Depending on how much food I have. My bad. I don't know why I'm talking about all this food stuff, man. Am I making you guys hungry? Tell me. I know I'm making you hungry. Yeah, man. But yeah, so that's what I did today. I went out, did my grocery, didn't buy too much stuff, just enough for the next few days. I cooked that up. And now I'm here doing this. Woke up real early today. Had some coffee, not gonna lie to you. Had about 2 cups of coffee. You know what I noticed I'm doing? I cut out certain habits, but I immediately replaced it with other habits. But, which is, I don't think is necessarily right, but I don't think it's wrong. I will say that I did replace certain habits with caffeine. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think that I'm the type of person that even gets some kind of energy boost from the caffeine. I find it to be just very, very comforting, very warm, I don't know, I probably have some kind of attachment with some girl and drinking coffee. Sometimes like moments in your life, it brings you back and you develop these attachments. I don't know, you never know, right? But I find it comforting, I find it nice, right? It's soothing to me, it relaxes me. And it's like a good start to the day type of routine. So I woke up, had some coffee, woke up nice and early, took care of some chores and stuff like that. And yeah, started my day. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I woke up around 5 o'clock this morning, and what time is it right now? Let me see. Yeah, it's just after 3 p.m. So it took me that long. Just to buckle down and just relax and get this going. And I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling good. I'm happy you guys are here. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm really, really happy. What else I got going on? I definitely... Okay, let me put it to you guys this way. You know what? For new year, new stream, might as well just give you guys a little something so you guys understand where I'm coming from. No point in trying to hold too much in, trying to be too possessive of reality, right? No point in that. So I used to be I still am. I'm a personal trainer. I like to say it's a trade under my belt, and I was in great shape. And then over the last few years, I really allowed myself to let go. Just a lot going on in life. Not to get too deep into all of that, but just a lot. Life. I allowed life to overwhelm me. So I fell out of shape, unfortunately, and it's one of those things that I saw happening, but because I kind of lost sight of why I even started training, why I became a personal trainer, all of these things, I kind of I just lost sense of time and lost track of everything, right? So yeah, that was that for lack of better term, lack of better terms, lack of better words, I would say that's been haunting me for a little while, because I don't necessarily like how I look. I looked a lot worse before. I look a lot better now, but I can be better. And it's not even the looks itself, it's the feeling inside, it's the mental, it's the lack of clarity. It's not feeling good in clothes, like anything. It's constant fluctuations in weight, where you want to go shopping for some new clothes or something, but everything, nothing's fitting right. And as a man, I'll be honest with you, I don't like that feeling at all. I feel like it's too much thinking, too much things to have to consider. It's like having long hair. It's like, it gets to a point where it's like, for me personally, because I used to have longer hair, it just gets to a point where I don't want to wake up and think about that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to move a little bit more freely. And like I said at the beginning of this stream, I want to do this because I want to allow more freedom, into my life, and allow myself to be more free, So yeah, the goal is to get back into shape. Last year, it got to a point where I was around 220 pounds. I dropped down significantly from that. I'm under 200 pounds now, so that's very good, very, very good. But I still have a ways to go. So the plan is, to get back into regular workout routines. I've always been a simple person when it comes to working out. I try not to overcomplicate it, because I believe in I just think when you try to do too much, sometimes it takes away from the consistency. It can be a little bit it can be time consuming, and also a little bit overwhelming for the mind, when you always have to be constantly thinking. Everybody's different, don't get me wrong. Some people, they want to do different things every day, and maybe that works out for them. But for me personally, I like the basics. I like to keep it basic and be consistent. And yeah, so that's the plan. So new stream, and tackling those overdue resolutions where, said I would do this, I said I would do that, and now actually doing it. And the truth is of the matter, to be honest with you, I think that what's been helping me even get to this point is just recognizing that I'm allowed to start over. Because I think at one point I started to feel as though I didn't have a right to start over. And I think also, you got to be careful with hanging around people. And I'm not blaming nobody, because I honestly don't think people mean a lot of things that they say or they do. In the sense of, people don't mean to put you in a box, but that's just what they do. That's all people know to do. And half of the time, they don't know that they're doing it. You know what I mean? So, and we do it to ourselves too. So you can't be looking at somebody else and what's going on the outside of you, and not looking at what's going on the inside. You always have to look inside first before you start looking at what's happening outside of you, because I've come to realize that everything that I'm feeling on the inside, it's hard to blame it on something outside, something external. Those feelings are always inside. It's just an opportunity, where something happens outside, and now there's an opportunity for you to, for those inside feelings to express themselves or manifest themselves physically and externally, and however they chose to do that. So you got to be careful with that. But yeah, I started to realize that I have a right to start over, and as long as I'm breathing and I'm living, I can start over as much as I need to, I guess, by God's grace, you know what I mean? Like, I'm saying, there's situations where it might be harder to do that, but you can't look at how hard it is if the goal is to move forward. Sometimes you gotta just know that's what you gotta do, and you gotta do it. You gotta do it. No one else is gonna do it. People are gonna want to help, and I know everybody. Trust me. I've been told this myself. I've been told to think of this. Think about this. I've been told by other people that care about me that I have to have a perspective, or consider other perspectives and viewpoints and stuff like that. So nothing is new under the sun. I'm sure what you're hearing from me now is not new under the sun. But all I'm saying is, everybody grow at their own pace, right? So, every dog has his season, right? Every big dog has his season, so it's looking like this is my season. It's looking like this is my season because but I'm not for sure. I'm not trying to overthink it, but I feel good. But what I'm gonna do is just watch things happening. I'm just gonna watch things happening. I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing, which is hanging out with you guys here and doing this just like this, and continue to evolve and continue to elaborate on the concept and the process and the mindset and all of that. Yeah, man. Yeah. Because the truth of the matter is, it's like, honestly, I've always wanted to, I truly believe I'm a person that genuinely wants to just love. I think it's natural, and I think everybody is like that. I just want to love, like I love you guys. I don't need to know you to love you. That don't make no sense to me personally. But it's hard. It's honestly hard to say you love somebody, you love people, you love life, or you love this, or you love that, and again, you're not taking time to just watch what's happening inside of you. It's hard for me to say that when I'm not paying attention to what's happening inside of me. So it has to be a new year. It has to be time to, it's a new time, it's a new day, it's an opportunity to start over. And if I give myself that chance, I take the opportunity that God has given me to have another day and to start over again. I think, it's about time I take advantage of what He's given me, right? So that's what I'm doing, taking advantage of what He's given me. And I think that's a form of gratitude, being grateful, right? But again, beating up on myself, or beating up on themselves because they're not doing that. Even when you realize that you've been wasting time, or you think you've been wasting time, don't even worry about that. It's the realization, it's the awareness, it's the being conscious and being aware. That's when you know that there's something positive working with you, that's allowing you to see that someone's been pulling you in the wrong direction. And if you could see that you're on the right track, there's nothing to worry about. Because if you had known better, you would have did better, right? I was sitting, for weeks I've been wanting to start streaming. I've been wanting to do this and wanting to do that. Wanting to do so many things, right? And all of a sudden I'm getting thoughts like, yo, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of work. You're going to have a specific schedule and time to sit down and do this and do that. You're going to have to work around, going to work and this and that and all kinds of things. And now I'm here sitting talking and I'm like, yo, all those thoughts were lies, bro. They were all lies. All I had to do was sit down and get to it. That's it. Of course there's little things that you gotta do, like set up the stream and get everything in order. You gotta make sure, there's certain little things, little technical things that you gotta do. But there's always gonna be some things, there's always gonna be a process to everything, and there's gonna be things you want to do and things you don't want to do. Luckily for me, this is something that I wanted to do. I just ran into a little procrastination demon. That's all it was. And once I saw that, I realized something is working with me and allowing me to see that, something positive is working with me and working through me, and it's allowing me to see that I'm being held back. And it's starting from inside. It's not nobody doing it from outside. So, yeah, man. Yeah, guys. Yeah. I didn't turn off my phone. I'm surprised it didn't ring or nothing like that or buzz, but then again, I'm acting like, I don't know, everybody busy anyways, so I guess there's no reason for me to really be surprised. Everybody busy. I'm busy, they busy. Let me check these notifications. Oh no, what am I doing? Yeah, man, what a beautiful day. I've been thinking about getting a new like monster capture game, kind of like Pokemon. You know, what do they call them? Let me see what they call them. I don't even remember. That type of genre, that Pokemon genre. That I've been thinking about. You know, there's some that I saw that I'm thinking about grabbing, and I think I might do that. So I'll probably grab that, you know, and at some point and stream that. It's chill, you know what I mean? Like I could stream that any time of the day. It's not, you know, creature collector. That's the genre. It's called creature collector. Yeah, there's a bunch of different games like that. I've been playing a lot of fighting games too. I've been playing Street Fighter, but I ain't all that good at Street Fighter. But you know what? Okay, you know what's crazy about Street Fighter? What's crazy about fighting games in general for me is that I've been playing these games for so many years. Like Street Fighter is not a new thing to me. I grew up with that. I've been playing that. I grew up with the older guys playing, and they wouldn't let me play because they said I was a kid. They wouldn't let me play. You know, they figured I didn't understand, and they was right. I did not understand, but I don't think they understood either. But you know, you get the drift. But what's crazy to me is that I've been watching a lot of Street Fighter online. You know, tapping into the FGC. And bro, this is like these guys made a career out of this. It is amazing to me to watch the technical skill that goes into this, the planning, the training. And I've just been playing it. I've even gotten better at using controllers, and like, you know, my fingers work better on the control. Dexterity, everything, you know, the coordination, just practicing, you know, regularly. It's amazing. I love it. I didn't know there was that much technical skill in the game and so much creativity and just learning characters and what character suits you and all kinds of things, you know. I didn't know there was so much to it. I really didn't. I really did not. But yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to it. There is a lot to it. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll play some of that online too, but I'm not trying to embarrass myself or nothing like that, you know. Right? I ain't trying to do any of that. Uh, give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. This should be a good opportunity to test this out here. 1 second, guys. Be right back. Yeah, guys. You ever realize after you cook, like you never hungry? Like, but I'm starting to get hungry now, and I cooked a while ago, but I didn't even touch the food. But now I'm starting to get hungry. I'm starting to get hungry now, so oh man, I forgot to get hot sauce. I love hot sauce. Yo, tell me if I wonder, do you guys like hot sauce? Tell me if you guys like hot sauce. I'm a hot sauce man. You know, I love hot sauce. I love it. I love it. I love it. I forgot to get hot sauce, but that's okay. I actually do have one there, but that's not like the you know, it's not the most. It's a very basic hot sauce. I was kind of feeling for a more, you know, you know, flavor some with a little more, you know, more flavors, a broad spectrum of flavors. Does that make sense? I don't know. Yeah. Been looking for something like that. I want something like that right now. With some flavors. Some flavors. Uh, Maybe I'll step outside and get some more. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna be doing some gaming, life talk, just everyday life, whatever comes up, whatever's floating the boat. Anything is up. Anything can be, well, not anything, but you guys know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean. Yeah. You guys let me know, like, do you guys have, are you calling it New Year's resolutions? Are you calling it overdue resolutions? It's already been over a month into the new year, so have you guys been consistent? Have you stuck to the plan so far? What's the deal? Have you fallen off and had to like jump back on the, and have you fallen off and, had to reset, recalibrate, refocus? Let me know. Superbowl was yesterday. I didn't watch it. I know a few people that were looking forward to it. I haven't watched any of those major sports in years and years and years. I don't know. I guess after high school and all that stuff, I used to play sports. I was just okay. I was nothing special. But, as you get older, you realize, well, I was good at some of them. But to be honest with you, I think I just did it because it was what was going on at the time. I don't think I had any real passion for any of them, to be honest with you. I think I just enjoyed the activity for the most part. But I ended up being not so bad at some of them, not so bad at some of them. And I made the teams at school and stuff like that. So I guess I wasn't the worst, I was lucky enough to, so. But yeah, I haven't watched any major sports in years. I don't know any players anymore, nothing. I don't know what's going on. I don't have a clue what's going on. Yeah. All I know is yesterday was for the Super Bowl, it was, who was it? I think it was Seattle and New England, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know who won. I haven't seen. The only thing I've been seeing online about this Super Bowl is the halftime performances and all this other, like just everything but football, so I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't that good. Or maybe the game and the platform just got hijacked. I don't know. I don't know if I really care. I just know about it because everybody, like I knew some other people that were talking about it. And I was happy for them, because they wanted to, they were looking forward to it. I'm happy for them, that's their thing, but not so much for me anymore. I do like boxing. I do enjoy boxing, but I think I got a little spoiled with the boxing. I think that when I started watching boxing, Mayweather was still in the game. Andre Ward was still in the game. And I think those two are my favorite. And it's hard for me to pick between Andre Ward and Floyd. People like to talk down on Floyd, like to disrespect him, but whatever. To each their own. That man is great. And I'll be honest with you, Andre Ward to me is outstanding. He's outstanding. I think, in a fantasy fight, I think about this probably once a month. I don't know who would win. Andre Ward, man, when he went up against Alan Green, man, the commentators in that fight had me hyped. One of the commentators said he's looking like a young Sugar Ray. Inside, outside, gritty. The champ is beating him up with his fists. No, he said the champ is talking with his fists. It was crazy. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Just thinking about it. The man, it was masterful. Forehead to the chest. Forehead to the chest. Short uppercuts and hooks on the inside. Slipping under the chin of Alan Green. It was beautiful work. Just walking him into the ropes. He broke that man. He broke that man. And then you have Floyd, you know. Then you have Floyd. Floyd, you know, recently they've been talking about fantasy fight Floyd versus, well, I don't think it's much of a fantasy fight, but, you know, I guess it is because Floyd is retired now or whatever he's doing. I guess, you know, they were talking about him with, you know, if he was to box Terrence Crawford, and that would be a nice fight to watch too. But if I'm being honest, I'm just gonna say this. I could be wrong. Of course, I could be wrong, but I think Floyd will pull it off simply because I find that he has a little more smoothness to his game, a little more finesse. I think he takes the cleanliness of, you know, his performance very seriously. He doesn't get too. I don't think I've ever seen Floyd get too sloppy. I think I seen it maybe once or twice where he decided to just bang, you know, the last few seconds of a round or in the last round or something like that. You know what I mean? But he doesn't do that too often. He's very hard to, you know, to separate from his game plan, what he knows that he has to do. Very, very, very hard to do that with him. And so I think that would allow him to, you know, pull it out, you know, just pull it off. But who knows? You know, Terrence Crawford I think he's a very nice man, to be honest with you. When I watch him in interviews and stuff like that, I think he has a great sense of humor. And I think he really appreciates the people around him and stuff like that. But I guess for lack of better words or term, he could be mean. He could be mean, you know. But I think all boxers can be mean. So I guess I've seen Andre Ward be quite mean. I've seen him be very mean. Very mean. I've seen Terrence Crawford be very mean. I've seen Floyd be mean. You know, you look back at fights like him against Victor Ortiz, right? Victor Ortiz thought that he could, you know, he could sneak in a little headbutt here and stuff like that, and Floyd said, okay, if that's the way you want to play, let's dance, right? And you know, if you look back on that fight, you see how that happened. So who knows, man? Who knows? But that would be a great fight too. Terrence Crawford is nice, you know. But anyway, I went into that long spiel, all that to say that I haven't been watching as much boxing lately just because I think that those guys spoiled me. That was my point of saying all of that. Andre Ward, Floyd, Erislandy Lara. You know, there's certain boxers that I just loved to watch all the time, and I think that they spoiled me. So, you know, maybe I guess I've just not seen the same level of skill. I'm seeing, I guess there's a lot of talent for sure. There's guys like Shakur Stevenson, you know, Gervonta Davis, right? There's a few guys, you know. But they're also still very young, and I think we have still so much to see from them, and I'm excited for that. But so yeah, I definitely watched that Shakur Stevenson fight that just passed. He fought Teofimo. He did a great job in that fight. And I did watch Gervonta Davis's last couple of fights too. You know, he's a man that, you know, he handles his business a certain way, so he's very entertaining to watch. And I think I think Ryan Garcia is gonna be fighting the Aztec Warrior. Oh, was it El Azteca? What's his name? Oh, Mario Barrios. Yeah, he's gonna be fighting him, so that's gonna be interesting. I wonder if he's still with Virgil Hunter. I wonder if he's still training Mario Barrios. I don't know. Even some of the anyway, yeah, guys, yeah, man. I love Virgil Hunter. I love him as a trainer. He's fire. He's so good. But yeah, so I've been watching a lot of boxing. I watch a little UFC, but not too much. No, again, you know what it is, guys? I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not necessarily that I'm a casual. It's not that. It's just that once I've seen certain things, it's like I can honestly say that I'm spoiled. Like I want to see John Jones fight. There's a lot of great fighters, but I want to see John Jones fight. I want to see Demetrius Johnson fight. I want to see guys like that. I want to see guys like that fight. Because I think everybody has a style of fight that they like. And for me, I love to watch the guys that fight as though they are true martial artists. There's some guys that like to go out there and bang. Not that they're not martial artists, but their style is more, stand and bang, as opposed to hit and don't get hit. And that's more what I gravitate towards. The hit and don't get hit, or at the very least, just demonstration of a variety of skills. So yeah. I guess either I'm spoiled or I just, like everybody else, I wait until something catches my eye, catches my interest, piques my interest, and then I get focused, right? So yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be watching fights, especially I'm gonna be streaming. I think I'll get back into watching fights. I'm gonna get more focused again on the, all the fights coming up, the fight schedules and stuff like that, because it'll be fun to talk about it, especially if you guys like it too as well. I'm sure a few of you guys are gonna like boxing, talking about it, stuff like that. Just don't expect me to talk about football or basketball or anything like that. I just don't know, guys. My apologies. My apologies. What can I say? You know what I did want to talk about actually? Because I'm getting back into, I'm trying to get back into my groove when it comes to, working out and stuff like that. I do want to say that I did choose to focus on a couple of things that I think are really going to help me. The first thing was dialing back on some negative habits, which maybe I'll talk about another day. But another thing was too is I have been supplementing, but what I decided to do, like I personally think that if you can get your nutrients and all that stuff from food, obviously that's the best way to do it. But the truth of the matter is, like, you can't really depend on getting good food anymore. You don't know what they're feeding you anymore. Just the other day, I was watching they were talking about making clone meat, and they're passing laws apparently where they can just sell it to you and don't even have to tell you that it's clone meat. Like, you already killed it once, you gotta double kill it. That's crazy. Well, it wasn't even living. That's crazy. It's already dead, and you gotta eat it before it rots. Now you want to give us something that never had potential to rot because it never lived? That's kind of mad if you ask me. So I don't know. So my point is, they're saying a lot of the food is genetically modified. It's not even the original form of the food anymore that we're being fed. It's all, who knows? It's all cloned. Jeez, man, like, just leave us alone. I don't know what's going on. Like, just allow us to live. Anyway, so back to what I was saying. I have been supplementing. I supplement. I do. And there's a few of them that I take. But you know what I realize is that it's true that supplementing, I do believe that some of this stuff does help. I really do. And there's certain things that I think are just gimmicks. I do think that. But what happens is that it becomes fun. And the truth is that a lot of people probably don't want to admit is that you end up experimenting on yourself. You start taking all these things and you're basically experimenting on yourselves. You don't know what's going to happen when you take it, but a lot of the stuff does come from quote unquote natural sources. You know what I mean? So it makes you feel a little more comfortable, a little safe testing on yourself. But with that said, it's like like for me, like I ended up taking so many different things that one of two things can happen, or both. You end up taking so many things that you become inconsistent with taking everything regularly, so you never actually reap the benefits of taking these supplements. And the second thing is because you're taking so many things, you don't actually know what's working and what's not working, right? So what I'm doing now is I said, okay, I accomplished this, boom. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use what I have, stay consistent with those things, and then once those are finished, I'm only going to take the most necessary, the most necessary supplements, so the vitamins and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna focus on vitamins, your vitamin C's, your D's, your K2s, your B's, right? All that stuff, your zincs, your magnesiums, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be focused more on that stuff, and proper hydration. Yeah, creatine is one that I'm gonna continue taking, and I'm gonna just stick to that for the next few months. That's the goal, to stick to that for the next few months. I'm already taking some of those, but I'm gonna finish it off and just replenish the stack after that and focus only on those and see what it does for me. You know, the goal is to use those things to help restore my body, to help repair the body from the abuse that I've been putting it through with the overconsumption of food and this and that, and just the stress, just the literal stress that this stressing over sometimes nothing. That affects your body a lot, guys. You know, it affects your body a lot. If you drink, you smoke, the liver is being attacked, your heart, your lungs are being attacked. So if you're overeating, the gut is being attacked, the brain is being attacked, your joints are being attacked, inflammation is probably running amok in the system, right? It's running rampant all throughout the body. So I'm taking these supplements with the goal and the hope that they help me to replenish, restore, and recover physically and mentally. So I really want to just buckle down on the absolute necessary ones that I believe those are your vitamins and your minerals and stuff like that, and taking those and see how it goes for a few months, being consistent for a few months and seeing how that goes. You know, all a part of the plan. And as a video game once stated, a great announcer from the great game once said, "I love it when a plan comes together." And so far, so good. So yeah, guys, I don't know if you guys take any kind of supplements. Let me know what you guys are taking. I would love to know. Again, I by trade, I am a personal trainer, so I know how to use supplements. I understand them for the most part. I understand them quite well, I do believe. I've taken them, for years now, and I have seen results with some of them. I have definitely seen results with some, not so much with others, but there are certain things that I would say will benefit certain people in certain situations or certain circumstances, not just to take them, You have to know when to use them and why you're using them and how to use them, right? And I think that those things do benefit, but it benefit, the individual. Some people respond to things better than others, but at the end of the day, the only way to really know is if you try. And obviously, there's certain things that you got to consider. How hard are you working, all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, certain things you're not going to really see the benefits because you're not pushing yourself hard enough to actually see any growth or any change or any adaptation, right? All of these things are important. So yeah, if you guys ever want to know about certain supplements, and if I understand the supplement and I've used it before, or I've guided other people in using it, I can definitely, give my opinion and perspective on that. Just let me know. I'd be more than happy to do that. Right? Yeah, man. Yeah, the belly's starting to grumble. I'm not gonna lie, guys, but I'm gonna hang up for a little bit longer. One of the things I've been drinking a lot lately, it's not good either. It's not good. Here's what's crazy. Okay, let me tell you guys what I did. So I cut out certain habits and I jumped into, and then the body started to go through some changes, and I started craving a lot of things. Like, and the big one, I'm not gonna lie, was McDonald's. Because everybody likes to talk down on McDonald's, and I understand it. It ain't the best thing to be eating. We understand that. We understand that. And I don't know for sure, but I've heard, I've heard out in the streets that sometimes what they say they're giving you ain't always what they're actually giving you. But I don't know that. McDonald's, I ain't saying that. I'm just saying it's what I heard. But anyway, I digress. Those French fries, you guys like to talk. You guys like to talk a lot of smack. McDonald's has the best French fries in the game, hands down. Hands down, the best French fries in the game. When you're talking about fast food, French fries, McDonald's is the top of the top. I don't want to hear none of you guys' foolishness. This place, that place, you want fresh cut potato, raw, yada, yada, yada. Whatever chemicals they put on those McDonald's French fries are So I started craving those. And when you start craving that, now you walk in there and you know how they set you up with the smell. I don't know. I think they put something in the smoke. When they're grilling up that food, I think they put something in the smoke. I think they got something in the vents. And when the smoke is going up through the vents and coming out the chimney of the building, it starts to mix with the heat and the moisture. And when you're walking by, it hits you in the nostril and you're like, yo, I want that. I think it's a setup. I think it's a setup thing without question. But when you start craving the fries, you walk in, you get the whiff. I asked for my French fries well done, fresh made. I'll wait. I don't want them cold. I can't stand cold fast food. I can't stand it. That's why I prefer to cook food, because you're guaranteed that one of them is going to give you some cold food. There's only one restaurant I went to on a regular that I would go to, and I say they're consistent with giving you hot food, and that's Wendy's. Shout out to the Baconator. Yo, dog. Don't get me started. But I haven't had that in years. But you can't be eating that regularly. But yeah, so I walk into the McDonald's, order my fries, and then I look up and I see the McDouble. We grab one of those. McDoubles is some fire. Of course, we ask for it fresh made as well. We want it hot. I don't like, if it's bad as it is, I need the food to lie to me. You understand what I'm saying? I need the food to lie to me. So I need the fries to be hot. The reason why is because it makes it seem like it's a fresh home cooked meal. Like, your girl loved you and she made that for you, and as soon as you came home, she timed it perfectly for you. She pulled it out the oven, crispy, hot, fresh salted. She loves you. So I need that fresh. You understand? And when I look at my burger, I don't want to see the cheese intact, dog. I don't want to see it intact. I want to see the cheese drooping over the side. Why? Because it's hot. If you give me a cold burger and the cheese is still firm, it makes it seem as though you just opened up a pack of Kraft sliced cheese singles and just threw it on there. Don't do that. Don't do that. It looks like that vegan cheese that doesn't melt. Don't do that. You understand? Don't do that. But yeah, so I started craving that stuff, right? And I kept buying it, but I stopped now. It's been a while now. I stopped that. And I replaced it with energy drinks. I replaced it with energy drinks. People, that's crazy. That's crazy, but that's okay. That's okay, because without question, that it's just, it's like, if you smoke cigarettes, it's not so much the cigarette at a point. It becomes just the motion of the cigarette. It's just that motion that you just need to, it just has to be a part of your day-to-day routine. Bringing the cigarette to your face, putting it back down, right? It's just, I don't know why that happens, but it happens. So I guess, it's easy to replace habits with another habit. But like I said earlier, I'm aware, I'm conscious that it's happening, and all I can do is just pay attention to it happening, and I'll eradicate that in soon time, in due time. It's a process, you know. I've fallen for a lot worse, believe me. I'm sure everybody has. But yeah, man. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate, thank you guys for watching the video and all that stuff. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with me. I appreciate it a great deal. I look forward to hanging out with you guys, chilling with you guys a lot more, just cooling, and seeing what's going on with you guys too. Yeah, man, seeing what's going on with you guys. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I don't know if you guys want recipes or something like that. Maybe you guys, you want to learn something new. You want to learn how to cook something. Maybe I might do that. You want to learn how to build a nice supplement stack. I can help you do that. You want to talk some video games? We could do that. You want to talk some boxing? We could do that. I would say let's talk girls, but the internet gets too out of hand with that kind of stuff. I don't know if I want to fall into that chat, but I like talking about them too. Their face is cute. They're cuddly. They're nice. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with a cute one. You cannot. Well, you can, but you cannot. It's a double-edged sword. Holy. Ay, ay, ay. But yeah, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I think that's all for now. I'm gonna go. I wanna go eat some food. I wanna chill. And I'm already looking forward to the next one, the next stream, the next live, Yeah, man. Subscribe so you guys don't miss anymore. I'm gonna be consistent with this. So subscribe so you don't forget to do it now. At 16:02 live is the right. Apartment 1602 at 16:02 live. Yeah, man. Holla at me. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Peace.